at our opponent for a little bit, we see his flaws, we exploit the flaws in his, I guess, fighting style. We see that's what we work on in the gym, as far as the flaw. And our opponent, that's what we work on in the gym. We don't overanalyze, we don't magnify our opponent, because at the end of the day, it's a game of will. It's a professional will. It's my will versus your will. My intelligence versus your intelligence. A lot of people, they look at tapes of their opponents, but it doesn't mean that they're consistently going to do the right thing, the obedient thing.
Is this an upgrade opponent?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I just say he's another fighter that I cannot sleep on, you know. I don't take no fighter as a slouch at all. Got 8 ounce gloves. We got people preparing 2 months prior to for no one but me, and it's no head grease. I think that's dangerous in itself. It's a physical sport. We're not talking football. We're talking about fighting, you know. But it's intellect manifested in the physical realm. So in most cases, the more intellectual fighter.
Gary working with some stuff with you. Is that new when you found a guy like that? Or?
No, it's just like I said, it's just not just the mature thing, but the more obedient thing to do when it's dealing with the science of the sport.
And did you have weights on your ankle?
Yeah.
What was the time?
6 pound weights.
Okay.
You know, nothing real heavy. Just trying to keep my legs strong, calf muscle strong. You know, making sure I can move with a burst, my burst energy.
So the weights on your ankles help that?
Yeah, help that. 20 ounce gloves help that as well. We're moving from 20 ounces down to 8 ounces. The hand's gonna be faster. Logical and scientific.
Fast as hell?
Faster than hell.
I see he had to whisper that shit. So wearing the weights on the ankles, is that equivalent to when Muhammad Ali used to wear the heavy, thick boots he used to wear when he used to go run?
Definitely, it's a tactic. It's a tactic help you be lighter on your feet. You know, a lot of people, they just do weights and they just punch the mix. They don't really take consideration of how much your legs and your calf muscles need to be strong as just as your arms, you know, and your core.
Right.
It all goes together. Your whole body, your whole vessel is all one. You know, so we don't work on just getting our muscles upstairs strong, like our biceps and triceps. We work on getting our legs strong too.
Right.
You know, quads and etc. So Muhammad Ali, he wore boots. Time goes by. You got more, I guess, equipped technology. So now you got leg weights. I mean, I took them off, but yeah, leg weights now. Mostly back in the days, 70s, you had Eddie Bow. It was a name brand, clothing brand. And they used to make high top boots. And it was real heavy, durable. And you had Muhammad Ali and the other heavyweights, probably Rick Bolt and etc. They used to wear boots when they trained for that specific reason, because they was heavyweights that wanted to be able to move light. Do it now.
Right. What's your mindset, man, starting fast like you do?
Starting fast?
Yeah, you always start fast.
Is that in a training or a fight?
No, in the actual fight.
In the fight, I guess that's just more so my dominance. I try not to let an opponent feel as though that they got my heart. You know, they feel as though they have more authority. A lot of times you got to keep a person honest in this sport, and that's even coming from brute strength, a rage of tenacity, and information, being more technical. You know, and that's what humbles a fighter.
So you want to get up on them fast?
Of course, not just fast. It's just more so I'm just claiming my dominance. I told you once before, I don't overanalyze or magnify my opponents, but I do not slack them either. No matter how many fights, how many losses you got 8 ounce gloves, no headgear, and you prepping yourself more than a month just for me. That's dangerous. I don't care who you are. I take that as a threat. You know, so I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna view it with importance. You know, and I'm not gonna view it lightly. I'm not gonna take it lightly. So that dominance, you gotta show in a certain form of fashion. That's me being aggressive, because I know my opponent, he's going to be aggressive if I'm not showing. You know, that's what this sport is about. But it's not just all tenacity. Like I said, it's tenacity plus intelligence plus dominance. You know, all of it go together. It's a chemistry and it's a formula all in one. You know, so a lot of times I go hard early on because the opponent style that I'm fighting up against. A lot of people who see me as a pressure fighter, when I never really had to go in my tool belt to take out certain tools in my arsenal. Because of all of my fights, it's been a style fighter that required me to take out certain tools, use certain things. So when you see me in the ring, cutting the ring off, sliding, there's certain tools that I got to take out of my arsenal just for this opponent. You usually see a shorter man in front of me, shorter man than me, or my height, I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't be stopping him. I'd probably be sitting in the pocket, keeping him at bay, and taking out my tool belt, what I need for my opponent. You know, that's it. I'm not going to take out more than what I need. But we're definitely going to execute the plan that we got for this particular opponent.
How important do you think a fast start is against Barthélemy, given his style where he sort of likes to control pace and keep the fight slow and contained?
That's very important. This profession, I believe, they score in many different form of fashions. You got points by hitting your man. You got sometimes points that's given due to the majority aggressor. Let's say you got some fighters, they're majority aggressive, but they're not really landing anything. To give you an example, you got Floyd Mayweather and a Madonna. You know, Floyd blocking and everything. You know, if he blocked too much, they would get around to Madonna because he was the majority aggressor. So it'd probably be a 10-8 round by him being aggressive. Not him landing things, but you got to keep in mind all of these things accumulate points and rounds you're putting in the bank for yourself. So an early start would be a great thing for me with Barthélemy, because all of his fights, he tried to take his men into deep waters, like you said, control the pace of the fight, make it slow, try to be crafty, what may have you, and 9 times out of 10 the fight will go the full duration. You know, in his favor probably, due to how he carried the fight.
Just a 10 round?
Yeah. But for me, a fast stop would be flawless. It'd be good.
What would a victory next weekend, what would that mean to you? What would that do for you, actually?
On to the next. It'll put me in a better position to get another title, get another belt. You know, our goal is full progress. Clean out the 140 division, and then we can go on from there. Once we're done with that, we're looking around saying what's next as a unit.
15-0 with 15 knockouts. You always in your, you know, as your brother, Antuanne Russell beside you, yet have you, you know, pretty much when you train, you're always in the fighter's space. That way he wouldn't have any space to punch. Is Joe Frazier one of your favorite fighters? Because he's kind of like that. He don't punch as fast as you do, but he was always, when he fought Ali, he was always, you know, within 2 inches to where, you know.
I think that was just his fighting style, to be honest.
His short arms.
His short arms, heavyweight. A lot of people underestimate heavyweight punches. Big, you're gonna pack a punch. You're gonna pack some power. It don't matter how soft you say you hit as a heavyweight. It don't matter how hard you hit as a heavyweight. You're a heavyweight. It means you're gonna pack enough punching power to knock your man out if you hit him clean. It can be an accidental hard punch. I guarantee you, you will pack enough power behind that accidental punch to knock this heavyweight out. A lot of times, heavyweights, they had two fighting styles. You never really had no real crafty heavyweight until you came across to James Toney, and he moved up. You know, he was the only one doing shoulder movement, head bob and stuff. Then you had Muhammad Ali. He was on his toes. You only had a boxer heavyweight and a brawler heavyweight. You had a Muhammad Ali fighting style, then you had a Mike Tyson type of fighting style. Mike Tyson was just more equipped than Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier did the same thing Mike Tyson did, but Mike Tyson just did it better, did it faster, did it sharper. You know, as a heavyweight, you only had two fighting styles. You had a boxer or a banger.
Right.
So when you see George Foreman or Joe Frazier, they fought that way because they were heavyweights and they had short arms. You know, like I said, a lot of times styles make fights that should make you go into your arsenal and bring out certain tools. And being in close with a long-rangey fighter is the typical. That's what you gotta do. Your arms are shorter. You gotta get in the inside. You gotta have head movement. and you got to know how to get in. You can't just walk in because the person ain't gonna let you just walk in.
Right.
You know, that's what made Mike Tyson so phenomenal. He had good head movement and he slipped and fired. He slipped and fired. He just didn't slip it just to slip.
Right.
He slipped and 5, 3, 4 off of it.
Right.
Hard jumps too. You know, and he was small. Same thing for Holyfield. Holyfield, he was a puncher boxer, but he was a small heavyweight.
Right.
Yeah. He put his punches together more than Mike Tyson, more combinations. Yeah. George, he was just a heavy hitter, walk you down, like I said, heavyweight. Either pressure fighter, or boxer.
Right.
You know, and Muhammad Ali, he got props for all of that, making a heavyweight a boxer. Because there wasn't a lot of heavyweights that was boxers. Muhammad Ali was the only one. He set the pinnacle for it.
Right.
You know, after him, everybody else wanted to job like be a heavyweight and box. Ready? Who else? Lewis, Larry Bird.
Larry Holmes.
Larry Holmes, Chris Bird. I said Larry Bird. That's basketball. Chris Bird. I said Lord, forgive me, Chris Bird. Chris Bird, because
Yeah, he
it
was
was a
mean
big
with it,
thing
yeah.
about him. He really wasn't a helified
He was
puncher.
like a cruiserweight.
But he wasn't a helified puncher, right? He wasn't a helified puncher, but he knew how to box as a heavyweight. He had to study. Muhammad Ali, I'm pretty sure, had to work on his footwork.
Right.
You know, but it wasn't too many fight styles.
How do you compare Victor Postol to Francis Barthélemy? Obviously, they're different fighters. Did you learn anything against Postol in that fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
A rangy person is gonna take his style to the end. You live by the sword, die by the sword. You know, what you see is what you get. A lot of times people try to change up their fighting styles as they go. But if they losing, they're gonna convert back to what they know. You know, Francis Barthélemy, he got a rangy style just like Victor Postol. Difference is, I believe, Barthélemy, he's more crafty. He got a Cuban type of hands down, wanna be slick fighting style. More swag, right?
Yeah.
But as far as being rangy, they both got the same identical ideal thought process on being a rangy fighter. They don't want to be in the inside. They don't know how to fight there. They don't like fighting there. That's not their comfort zone.
So
You know, they'll time you, they keep you at bay, and they're gonna try to be slick and take the fight the full duration.
So that 10-round TKO of Postol, what did you take away from that fight and being able to take it into your next fight?
I took away his power punch. His power punch was his right hand. You know, off of that fight, he tried to stay long. He tried to line me up for the left. I'm in the right cross. I took it away from him. You know, in order for him to hit me, I got to go that way.
Yeah.
You know, so I was going the opposite way, making him throw shots that I wanted him to throw. And I knew if he would have threw those certain punches, it would have left me with a certain position. Whereas though, like I said before, we can what's the word I'm looking for? We can take over his flaws. We can exploit them flaws.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
being in certain positions, it allows people to do certain things only. You know, if I'm beside you, that means you got to step over to line yourself back up with me. You know, I know in order for you to line up with me, you got to step over. As soon as you step over, I'm in position to do something. I got to take that initiative to see that right then and there. You know, these type of moves and positions that I'm lining myself with, I got to exploit these things. If I don't exploit them, you will see it. It'll be obvious too.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the science to the sport. You know, a lot of people think it's just a brute sport, athleticized, and that's that. Nah, it's definitely a science to it. That's why you still got older fighters that's still in this sport because they are veterans. They see that it's a science to it. They see the certain things that they can do right, or they understand the science, and you see that certain people don't.
Right, and speaking of science, man, you were able to land the overhand left and the body shots. It seems to me that was part of the game plan. The overhand left was a killer. You remember anything about that fight? Just being able to kind of dominate the way you did in those last couple of rounds.
Yeah, a lot of times you got tall fighters, you go to the body to poke holes in the gas tank. You know, tall fighters, like you said, rangy. If you got a game plan, and you see that the person trying to take it for a long duration, you shorten that. Look at it simple. I'm gonna give you a scenario. You got a fighter. that's tall, fighter that's short. Fighter that's tall, going box, going bounce around like Muhammad Ali. Fighter that's short, going chase him like Mike Tyson. Eventually, the gas tank will go low if you start touching down there. Touch the body, after a while, he gonna start being more stationary. That's just logical. That's the logical science of it. You know, I think a lot of fighters now has the muscle memory to have that understanding. I don't want to get touched in the body because if I get touched enough, it's gonna slow me down, block the body shots. It's tall, you know. Touch the body, slowed him down. Left hand was there all day because I knew he was looking for it. If I take it away from him and I start touching the body, he gonna bring the left hand down. He gonna bring the left hand down. I programmed his brain, bring the left hand down. You think I'm going to sit by now? I'm about to come upstairs.
Yeah, and I was impressed, man, because I look back. I don't think he's ever been stopped before.
No,
he's never been stopped before.
So
to be that was a big accomplishment, man.
We try to keep it going forward. We try to put a dent in the game, man. It's more than just the sport to us. You know, we got a legacy that goes far beyond this sport.
Okay.
The sport is just something that we definitely want to finish off before we move on to anything else. As far as juggling, multitasking, that's something that we've been raised up on. You know, we got a lot of nieces and a lot of nephews, family oriented. That's a job within itself. If you don't think training, eating right, waking up in the morning, running, doing 2 a days is a job, then you tripping, because parenting is another job within itself. You know, being a strong family is a whole job within itself. And my father, he raised us that way. My family, my mom and my father, all of us, we done each one teach one, in-house type stuff. You know, and like I said, we not gonna stop here. We not gonna stop it. We got a bigger legacy than just this legacy in boxing. You know, we actually in our neighborhood was viewed as like a mantelpiece of what a family should be. You know, grown men, grown women. We address them as kings and queens because we know where we come from. You know, that alone, reaching back to our roots like that, the understanding like that is something bigger than just this type of event, you know. This is just an add-on. This is a plus.
So your end game is undisputed. I've heard you say that before.
Definitely. Forward progress all the way.
I love it.
Boxing in the ring, outside the ring.
Gary, there's been a lot of attention in media circles, social media, on the group of lightweights that's been coming up in the last few years. Now they seem to be growing into junior welterweight at a time where you're almost in position to be you're getting closer to a mandatory position at 140. How refreshing is it for you that for all of the attention they may have gotten early, they're going to have to come to you if they want to get where they want to go at junior welterweight?
That was inevitable. If I kept keeping forward with our main blueprint and our goal, it was inevitable. You know, that's something that we saw years ahead of the game. You know, before we even got here, we know where our career is going to go based off of the blueprint that we got and been given to us. We just gotta keep punctuating it here and executing. That's it. As far as opponent, we done seen it all. Olympics, then brought champions and participants in this sport from all over the world. So as far as tactics, fighting styles, I've seen it all. You know, at this point, it's just up to me not to magnify any other fighter or opponent that steps in the ring with me at this point, because I'm not unfamiliarized with it.
Okay, we're gonna get a group shot. All right.
Can we, when you move, so, you can see the,